Yo, 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 yo. Welcome to Thank You for Playing Podcast. We got a couple of video game enthusiasts ready to give you the gaming news and fun. I'm your boy BL Jonius, and I'm joined by editor extraordinaire Lambonius and the lore master himself, Toronius. How are you guys doing tonight?
That be me. That be us.
What's up?
Yep.
Hey, we doing good today. Good to be
Doing
here.
well.
It's always a great opportunity to come back to the pod. Know what I'm saying?
Always. And we got an exciting one for you guys today.
Well, before we get things started off, I always have the question of the day, the question of the week, and I have one for you guys right now. Are you guys ready?
Oh, joy. What you got for us?
All right. So, from past conversation with you guys, I've figured out that we're all fans of wrestling, whether we like wrestling currently or we were back in the day.
All right.
So I got a question for each of you guys. It's actually 4 questions, but I think we'll be able to answer them quickly. So we'll see. But the first question is, can you give me a favorite move from one of your favorite wrestlers? Any wrestler, one of the one move that you used to you love to see, and you couldn't wait to see it.
Okay.
A favorite wrestler. And also intro music, like one intro music that you guys loved, and then just give me one wrestling moment that really stuck out to you.
Man, that was a barrage of questions, but I believe that I can answer all of them.
All right, well,
I can answer that pretty quickly.
Well, I'm gonna go with you first, then Toronius.
Yeah.
Give me your favorite move.
I thought Lambonius had it, but
what's that? But Lambonius, Toronius, whoever wants it.
The mighty Toronius shall answer your questions. Hands down, I have a lot of favorite wrestling moves. I'm sure all of you guys do, but I have to give it to Billy Kidman, 1, 2, 3 Kid, shooting star press.
Bro.
When I saw that move, man. And you got to understand, this is back when we were like, wrestling is the greatest sport I've ever seen in my life. These guys want to kill each other. So when this dude would jump sky high off the top rope and do a gainer and land with precision and get the win, man, that's just what that was,
Yep.
So shout out to Billy Kidman.
That's funny, man.
Shooting star press.
That's funny because that was my favorite move. I was definitely going to say shooting star press.
Well, see, great minds think alike.
I love that move.
What's so cool about that is, out of the hundreds of wrestlers we've seen, I said scenes, the hundreds of wrestlers that we have seen, me and you both landed on shooting star press. So that shows how, what's the best way? Unique and visually cool that move is. And the name, I feel that the name of a move sells the move too. Mm-hmm. So it's called the shooting star press, and I don't know,
it's
it
a
fits.
Complete package.
Sure. And before you get off the move, he usually did it off the top rope. My favorite version of it, when he would run off the apron and do it onto someone onto the ground.
Oh yeah.
And not only did the move look amazing, but like the level of precision he had to have to do a forward backflip and then land perfectly and not hurt himself or hurt the other person. Like, I always thought that move was super impressive.
I agree.
Mm-hmm.
Such a cool move. I'm gonna go on, and you said my favorite
wrestler. Yep.
Wrestler. Man, that is a tough one. That is a really tough one, because I'm trying to see if I want to go back into the legacy wrestlers. Do I want to go in the Attitude Era? Okay, so I'm going to have to go with the OG nobility. I have to go with Hunter Hearst Helmsley when he used to march to the wrestling ring with that old Regal theme. It's actually called Blue Blood. And this is going to sound really nerdy, but sometimes I will pull that theme up and listen to it. Unpopular opinion, I wasn't really sold on the new drink water and spit it up in the air, the game.
Oh yeah.
I
Time for
was
the
a
game.
huge fan. Yeah, no. The the OG, the OG You Lack Nobility was my favorite. He kept the name, the pedigree as the game, but it didn't really match up. Pedigree is like a hybrid, right? You know, he's noble. His nose is in there. That's where the pedigree came from.
Mm-hmm.
And he used to wear that tie in his hair and had his hair tied back, and he'd have that fancy jacket and just have this walk to the ring like he knew that he was, you know, everybody else was beneath him. He was a villain, but I liked that character.
Right.
So going on with my favorite music, man, I want to say Blue Blood. I actually have two, and I didn't want to have two, but they're both together. Blue Blood was what I was just telling you about, his original theme that he debuted to as Hunter Hearst Helmsley. He wasn't even known as Triple H back then. He was Hunter Hearst Helmsley. So when he debuted to that, I love that theme. But we're going to fast forward a little bit, and we're going to talk about my boy Edge. And I can't remember the name of his theme song, but when Edge used to come out and he was known as the R-rated superstar, and he used to spin that belt,
Yeah.
and you know that soft rock, that dude would sing that song like On This Day I See Clearly or whatever. I'm not gonna try to reciprocate the song online. Not that I'm a terrible singer. Copyright. I'll sing it so good that YouTube will copyright strike us, and then Vince McMahon will ask where his money is,
that's what it
because I
is.
sound just like the guy. So I'm not gonna
Yep.
sing the song. So it's a tie between Blue Blood and Edge's theme song. Now, here's another tough one. You said, what event stands out to me?
Yeah. What
So
moment?
there are a lot of them. Yeah, what moment stands out to me? There are a lot. But I want to talk about one that does not get a lot of uh, buzz. It involves your least favorite variation of Undertaker. What was he, American Badass or
Oh
something?
Yeah.
yeah.
It
Get
was
that mess out of
Undertaker.
here.
Oh man, I don't know about keep that mess over
Over
there.
there.
You
So
canceled.
uh Undertaker and his brother Kane were in the ring, and Shawn Michaels, and I can't remember who else. I don't think it was Triple H. It might have been Kevin Nash. It was somebody else in Shawn Michaels. And I remember because Shawn Michaels came in the ring with a cowboy hat. And I can't remember who his partner was. But Shawn Michaels went up against Undertaker, and Undertaker starts doing this cool ass boxing stance. Like he starts jumping around the ring and throwing jabs and weaving and stuff.
Okay.
And I thought that was, even though he's the dead man, and right now he's not acting like the dead man, I just thought that was a cool, I'm about to get on your ass. And I remember that. There's plenty of other moments, but I want to give that one some shine because that was a cool
Yeah.
moment to me. So I think that wrapped up all four of your questions. I didn't want to blab on too long, but
Yeah.
that's my wrestling package, my experience. So I'll leave it to one of y'all now.
Lambonius. How about yourself?
That's me. Yeah, I
Oh,
was
and
thinking
before
about it
you
while you
start,
were
Lambo,
talking.
my bad. To all listeners, I don't know where DL Jonius got this onius from. It's not going to be every episode. I think he had his damn mind, but I'm just
He's
playing
going through a
along.
phase.
Yeah, so this episode, apparently I'm Toronius. So I know y'all wondering, like, what is going on? But yeah, I'm Toronius today. Sorry, Lambonius. Continue.
That's okay, Toronius. But now, while you're talking, I was thinking about it, and I was, at first I was like, yeah, I've got a real simple answer, and then I started thinking about it. I was like, man, there are some really good moves. I mean, you got Rey Mysterio with the 619. You've got Randy Orton with the RKO. Both great moves, but I think I ultimately still settled with my first pick. And it's a basic one. Like, there's nothing super special about it, but it connects with me for some reason. It's just the choke slam. Like, for some reason, it really resonates with me, and it's something that I always enjoyed seeing. Maybe it was like the setup for it. Undertaker would rear his hand back, and like you knew it was coming, and then he'd grab a hold of their throat, and then you just see the fear on their eyes. And like in reality, they could get out of it pretty easy. They could fight back, but they don't. They just accept it, and they're just terrified. And I don't know. I like it.
Cool.
Okay.
Cool.
Then we've got this is going to end up being really easy. My favorite wrestler was always The Undertaker, from the very beginning. But y'all know that. Edgy Lambo, anybody could have guessed
Yeah,
that.
the Undertaker gets a lot of love this episode.
Yeah, right? He's a great wrestler, man. Everybody loves The
Iconic
Undertaker.
character, for sure.
Oh, yeah. And then his theme music, particularly his last song that he had, Rest in Peace, was hands down. But that may be because his intro was just so great. Like, he always had this big show of an entrance. And I don't know, maybe the visuals helped really cement the song in my head. But I love it. I still pull it up every now and then and listen to it. But I'm going to throw you for a loop, though. My favorite moment has nothing to do with The Undertaker. My favorite moment is actually, I forget what the event was, but it was a match between Shawn Michaels and Ric Flair. And it was Ric Flair's last match, if I remember correctly. And at the end of the match, Flair is beaten. He knows that it's over. And Shawn Michaels is about to deliver the final hit. And he's, getting ready for a Sweet Chin music. Another great move, by the way. Getting ready to give him the Sweet Chin music to seal the deal in the match. And he's like hesitating, and he's just kind of looking at Flair, and he's like shaking his head no, like he doesn't want to do it. And Flair just is telling him, "Come on, it's okay." He's mouthing to him, "It's okay, come on." And then he runs in, gives him the Sweet Chin music, pins him, and the match is called over. And at the end, they start hugging each other because Ric Flair's career is over, and it's just a really touching moment, not only between the characters but between the two people that have shared this long career together. Two people that outside of the ring really respect one another, and I really love that moment.
Mm-hmm.
It was easily the greatest moment that I've seen.
Okay.
That's what's up.
Is it my go yet?
So what about you? What about you, BL Jonius?
Man, so Toro already Toronius already.
There we go.
He already took my move, man.
Get it right.
Like I said, dang, what's the move called, man? I just praised it. The shooting star press.
The shooting star press.
The shooting star press. That was definitely, to this day, my very most favorite move. And just the way he did it, like I've seen other people do the shooting star press over the years, but the way Billy Kidman did it, especially when he was in WCW, like it had its own like flair with it. Like it wasn't like a perfect backflip. It wasn't a perfect gainer. Like he had like this little tilt to it, and he did it like real quick, and it was just real smooth. And he was used most of the time, not all the time. He was always on the money with it. Fun fact about that move, it's actually banned from WWE these days. You can't do it. I don't know if that goes along with AEW as well, but in WWE, like they ban wrestlers from doing that move. So
too risky.
Yeah. There's actually, I think Billy Kidman did it like later on in his career, and he kind of landed wrong. And I don't know if you guys remember, Brock Lesnar did it once, and he landed on his neck. Luckily, he didn't like get paralyzed, but he had a bad landing doing it one time. So it's a super dangerous move, but when executed correctly, it does look good.
Yeah,
but
that's usually the trade-off.
Yeah. Ooh, I snorted. Did y'all hear that? No, you didn't. Hey, so my favorite wrestler, my favorite wrestler of all time is Bill Goldberg. Man. So
that's a good choice.
So check this out, bro. My favorite wrestlers, right? It's really a toss-up between Goldberg and Sting. Like when I was growing up, I was more of a WCW guy, so I would always watch WCW and I would record WWF. And then, because I was a little kid when this was going on. So the next day I would watch WWF, that I recorded on the VCR. That's how old, that's how how I'm taking it back today, on the VCR. But
Yep.
no, man, I really love Sting, man. The Stinger Splash, the Scorpion Death Drop. I always liked his face paint, the black and white face paint. Like he was super dope. But there was something about Goldberg, man. Like, let me look. Let me take you back into a time when young BLJ was watching WCW. So check this out.
Before he became Bill Jonius.
Before
Yeah.
BL Junior, man. So I remember I used to get so hyped when Goldberg would come out, because you remember Goldberg had like these kind of like, I don't even know how to describe it, man. He'll come out like punching and kicking. He'll do like that one pose where he kind of like
Oh yeah.
and like kind of pounce on the ground, and then like he'll throw both of his hands up, then the smoke will like come up, and then he'll like blow the smoke out of his nose. I don't know, man. Like I remember I used to imitate his intro, like back when I was living in Georgia, and I used to live in this trailer park, right? And there was a lot of
Georgia.
yeah, it was a lot of it was like dirt roads where I lived there, right? So me and my, friends, we imitate what we'd see on wrestling. So if a wrestler had an intro where they had like the pyros and stuff, like shooting up and stuff, what we do is one of our friends say like, I'm coming out and I got the smoke. We literally throw the dirt in the air, and it'd be like this big dirt wall, and we'll walk through the dirt like we pretend that's the we'll pretend that's our fireworks. You know what I mean? So I will have somebody throw the dirt up, and I come out like I'm Goldberg. You know what I'm saying? Like Goldberg used to get me so hyped, man. I remember I can be in the bathroom taking a big old dump, but if
What?
I hear that intro music come on, do, 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 do. Boy, hurry up and finish that poop just so I can see the intro. I had to see Goldberg, man.
Okay, weird flex, but
I
okay.
know, man.
Yeah.
That was my guy, man. This is when I was like 6, 7. Like I was really Goldberg super fan, loved him. And then also his moves, I always felt like they were just like some powerful looking moves. Like he was a super strong guy, and he was pretty athletic as well. But like a lot of his moves, he'd just like manhandle people, and he just always looked super strong. So for that reason, like I just always liked looking at Goldberg. And I always thought the jackhammer was a cool move, but definitely not my favorite move. But I just like how he just looked so strong compared to everyone else. You know what I mean? So that's definitely my favorite wrestler. Um, as for the intro music, man, I'm gonna have to give it to it's a lot of them. It's a hard to choose, but I might have to give it to my boy Razor Ramon. Razor Ramon intro
Hmm.
music was pretty funky, man. I wish we could play it. I don't want the YouTube guys to clap this video with copyright strikes and nothing like that. But
Oh yeah.
you
Well,
know,
Vince McMahon would be all over our asses.
but
Whoa, whoa,
yeah.
whoa, whoa. All right, continue, but one more time. Whoa.
Yeah, so anyways, anybody who's looking at this and you don't know what Razor Ramon's intro music sound like, just YouTube it and listen to it. It's pretty hard, man. I really like that one for sure, for sure. And as for wrestling moments, man, it's quite a few that sticks out. You got Undertaker. Wait, no, who was it? It was Stone Cold. You remember when Stone Cold was like chasing Booker T like through like a church, and then he ended up chasing him through the supermarket, and they was like beating each other up with like
Asked
food.
him he got
Yeah.
milk. That was so cheesy. Got milk.
Man,
Yeah.
that was a great moment. Also the
Then the
first.
moment when Stone Cold beat up Vince McMahon in
Oh
the
yeah, in the
hospital.
hospital. Yes, that was a good
Yep.
moment as well. Oh, and also I think there was a couple times where Stone Cold got like a beer truck and rode it down to the ring and just sprayed everybody
Yep.
with beer. A lot of
Yep.
dope moments. And one of my favorites, and this is not my favorite one, but when The Rock first met Booker T, this was when the WCW invasion was going on. Um, that was super funny. Like The Rock, I think that was back when he'll ask you a question like, "Hey, who are you?" And then he'll say, and he'll say, "It doesn't matter what your name is." Like this was back when he was saying that. That was a great
Pretty
moment.
solid impression.
You know what I'm saying? But I have to say my favorite moment, and there's a lot of them, man, and it's hard to just choose one. But I don't know if you guys ever seen when there were a lot of wrestlers at the end of a SmackDown show or whatever, and they were trying to get the Undertaker. Wait, see another Undertaker flex. Undertaker been getting a lot of
Yep.
love in this episode, but they were
Mm-hmm.
trying to get the Undertaker to do the Spinneroonie. Do you guys remember that?
No, I
Nope.
do not.
Oh, you got to check that one out, man. So they were trying to get the Undertaker to do the Spinneroonie. So it was after the matches were over, and then Booker T did the Spinneroonie. He was like, "All right, you try it." And Undertaker was looking at him like, "Nah, I'm not doing that." So next thing you know, The Rock does the Spinneroonie, and he's like, "All right, Undertaker."
Oh, you talking about the little breakdance move on the ground,
Yeah.
right? Oh, I know what you're
Yeah.
talking about. And they try to get the Undertaker to do it.
Yeah,
That would have been funny to watch.
yeah,
Okay, all right, I got you.
but in leading up to them attempting to get him to do it, I think Triple H did it, Booker T did it, The Rock did it, and I think someone else did it. And they were like, "All right, Undertaker, you do it." And and on top of that, the crowd is trying to get everybody, trying to get the Undertaker to do it, but he never did it. But that's definitely one of my favorite moments because it was really funny. Like you was like, if you watching it, you're thinking like, "All right, the fans got him, everybody in the ring is, trying to get him to do it. Like he's going to do it, but he never caved in. And he just left the ring and never gave us the Undertaker Rooney.
Gotcha. I know we about to jump to the next subject, but I want to give a quick, what is it? A quick shout out to another team / their moments that made my childhood before we jump off the wrestling bus. Too cool, man. They're iconic.
Oh, it's Scotty.
All three of them. Yeah, Grandmaster Sexy, RIP to him, Rikishi. But man, when they used to get in the ring and all dance together, man, that was way too hype. But like I said, we'll be talking about this all day, and somebody's gonna be like, I want to hear our video games. This pod sucks. So we're gonna have to jump off the bus.
One move,
but I want to get them homage.
Yeah, and one last thing. One more thing. Hey, so my one, I think it was Scotty Too Hottie, but his move, the worm, when he jump around and he spell WORM, and then he'll do the worm and do that move, and then he'll give you that slash at the end of the move. That was an amazing move too,
For sure,
man.
Just pure flash.
Yep. But anyways, guys, what's up?
Teronius, you're talking about tag team partners. Well, we got the probably the most iconic tag team partners in video games have released their new movie trailer now.
Oh, nice.
Of course, we're talking about the Mario Brothers movie trailer.
Whoa!
Which have both of you guys seen? Everybody's seen it, right?
That's an amazing thing. Yeah, I might say, my good sir.
Yeah.
Lambonia.
So what's your thoughts on it, BL Jonius?
Number one, the graphics on the game, not the game. Oh my goodness, not the game.
He's so hype
game
off
is
wrestling.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
So the movie looks good. Like it looks like a high budget, I don't know, Pixar, DreamWorks, whatever type of movie. It looks really well put together for sure. The 2-minute trailer that I seen with the I think it was penguins throwing snowballs at Bowser, that looked really funny.
Correct.
That was super funny.
Yeah.
It's looking like it's gearing up to be a comedy, and I hope it has quite a bit of action in it. And then on top of that, I'm not somebody who's played a lot of the Mario games. I've only played like a couple Mario parties and like Super Mario 2 and 3 back in the day. But I hope
about to get canceled.
No, I hope it brings a lot of characters from all the series in one movie. You know what I mean? So like the penguins that they were showing, I'd never seen those in the game before, but they look cool. And the king penguin that was, talking stuff to Bowser, like he looked pretty cool with his crown on and everything. So hopefully it's a good introduction into a lot of characters that we may not have seen or heard about before. Then on top of that, one minor gripe with me, it's not really a big thing for me, but it's very noticeable if you know Mario. He's isn't he he's a plumber, but he's Italian, right?
Yes,
I believe that is correct.
Yeah, so he's
living in Brooklyn.
Yeah,
but on the Nintendo games, I don't know if they rep that he's in Brooklyn. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I get what you're saying.
Right.
I think he's in like, what do they call it? New Donk City, I think is the name of it, and it's like meant to be like the Mario version of New York.
Okay.
I think that's where he's from.
Right. Well, anyways, like I know for sure he's an Italian plumber, but his voice actor doesn't
Yeah.
sound Italian at all. He sounds like a regular dude. And if you know
Yeah.
Mario, like that's not how he sounds. I mean, you even hear him in the games. He'll say stuff like "Here we go," or you know.
Good one, Bill Jonius.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, like he sounds like that in the game, and the voice actor
Yeah.
doesn't sound like he could even pull that type of voice off. You know what I'm saying? So
Well, so the voice actor is Chris Pratt, right? Of Guardians of the Galaxy fame.
Yep.
You know, plays Star-Lord. So the problem is Mario just sounds like Chris Pratt, and like it doesn't really sound like he put a whole lot of effort into it. It sounds like it. I think this actually is his first voice acting gig, and it definitely sounds like it.
why? Because he sounds like himself.
Yeah, like it doesn't. It sounds like he just tried to like put on a happy face and like kind of be what's the word? Like just a little too excited, especially in the Mushroom Kingdom Here We Come line. Like that really sounded a bit off, but I don't know. Like Chris Pratt was probably the part I didn't like the most about the trailer, but I don't hate it either. You know, we only got 2 sentences from him in the trailer, so maybe there's more, and maybe that's just some of the worst examples of his abilities. Maybe he's way better once the final movie comes out. The only other thing I thought was weird is that the mushrooms in the trailer seemed to have like this kind of like felt or velour type of texture to them. They looked really fuzzy, and I'm not really sure why. Like maybe there's an in-lore reason for that, but that was the only other thing that really stood out to me as kind of off.
Right.
But for the most part, I thought the trailer looked good.
Really good.
You know, I know a lot of people are praising Jack Black for his portrayal as Bowser. I don't think it's as good as everybody's making it out to be, but I don't think it's bad either. I think it's pretty decent. I think he'll do an all right job. And then the penguins, whoever's voicing the King Penguin, I thought was really great. And then Kamek, the Magic Koopa, I thought that voice actor was great. Same with Toad. Toad, I think, did a really good job from what we can tell.
Right.
So overall, I'm intrigued by the movie. It's almost certainly going to be better than the last Mario movie. So there's that at least.
Yeah.
But yeah, for the most part, I'm excited.
Yeah, it looks really good. It looks really good.
Yeah.
But Toronius, how do you feel about this new
Man, y'all
saving the best for last.
Man, I don't know about the best, but I will tell you, I was not moved.
What?
What? No, I will explain to you why. Being that I'm very compassionate about voiceover, I love the art of voice acting, and I always pay homage to the OGs. So Charles Martinet is the voice of Mario, right?
Legend.
At least to a lot of people. He is legendary, right? Mario 64 popped off. Been the voice of Mario ever since. Voice of Mario, voice of Luigi, voice of Wario. You know what I mean? Waluigi. Voices all those characters, right?
Fun fact, which you probably know this, Toro, but for our fans that may not know this, I believe he was actually the voice of Mario before Mario 64. Didn't he do a trade show where they had an interactive booth where you could talk to Mario and he was behind the curtain doing Mario's voice?
This is where the Lord Master is missing some pages because I was not aware of that. But if that is true, that's actually
kind of shocking, actually.
Fact. Yeah, that one slipped by me, but that's a
I'll
cool fact.
I'll have to see if I can find that. I'll send that to you.
For sure. I'm going to have to check that out. So back to what I was saying. He's a legendary voice actor. Very, very talented man. apparently, from what I hear, he's in the movie. He's just not Mario, which has me scratching my head. I don't know if he didn't want to voice Mario, but I don't think that's the case. I've been seeing these YouTube videos of people that feel like I do. They are pushing voice actors to the side and instead vying for celebrities and their star power to bring people to watch the movie. So not only do you have Chris Pratt as Mario, and he doesn't sound anything like Mario, and everybody's just accepting it, which if you're happy and you want to see it, then go for it. I'm not saying that I'm not going to see it, but I'm not impressed thus far. Another thing, and I'm not even going to tell you to put your tomatoes down. If you want to wield them or throw them, go have at it. But I am not impressed at Jack Black playing himself, Jack Black, with CGI Bowser. To me, he's not even Bowser. He's Jack Black, There's no disguising his voice. There is no toughness in his voice. He sounds like Jack Black to me, just like Chris Pratt. Chris Pratt does not strike me as an Italian plumber off to save the princess.
Mm-hmm.
This is more of, hey, I'm Chris Pratt. Watch me play myself with Mario CGI. That's how I see it. But I feel like it's supposed to be a fun movie, a family movie, and I wish it the best of luck. But Old Teronius is not hype to see the movie. Now, odds are I'll probably wait till it comes out unless I get, dragged along. Somebody wants me to go see it, whether it be buddies or someone else.
Well,
But
that sounds like an
my hype.
invitation.
Yeah, my hype meter is not very high for this one, but maybe they'll prove me wrong. And you know me, I say it all the time. If I am proven wrong, I'm still waiting to get my hands on Street Fighter 6. Like I said, if I get my hands on Street Fighter 6, which I didn't get a beta, by the way, thanks, Capcom. But
Yep.
if this movie
Didn't have
turns
enough
out to
money
be,
to buy one.
I know, right? If this movie turns out to be good, I will be sure to address that in a later episode. But right now, I'm not impressed and I'm not enthused to see the movie. The voiceover seems kind of lackluster to me. I did not feel like I was listening to Mario. I just felt like I was listening to Chris Pratt. So, no disrespect to him or Mr. Jack Black. Tenacious D was a great movie. So was Year One, but I'm not here to talk about his movies. I'm here to talk about how he doesn't sound like Bowser. He sounds like Jack Black. And that is the end of my short rant about how I feel like this movie's not going to be great.
Question for you guys before we move on. Super Mario is a very iconic brand, and I feel like if they were to make anything about it, a new movie, video game, or anything, they obviously want to get it right and stay true to the character, especially stay true to what everyone knows. Do you guys think that for when it comes to Bowser's voice actor and then Mario's voice actor, you think the people are just like, hey, just do what feels best for you? Or do you think they were like, hey guys, try to capture the essence of Mario, try to capture the essence of Bowser, and you think these guys just can't do it? Or you know what I mean? Like, do you think they said, hey, do this, or do you think they just say do what you guys are comfortable with? Because their voice acting sounds nothing like Mario or Bowser.
That's right. I feel like they're blown away by their star power. So they kind of give them some leniency. They're depending on the star power to fill the seats.
Yeah.
And not the voiceover work.
Right. See, I think Jack Black is doing like his version of Bowser. I feel like he's trying to at least play the part well. Whereas with Chris Pratt, I feel like he barely does anything to alter how he sounds, and is just kind of a slightly higher pitched version of himself, and that's pretty much all he's done. I'm not as disappointed with Jack Black's performance as Toronius is. Like, I actually think he did pretty decent. Like I said, there have been several games where Bowser had a voice, and it sounds like Jack Black trying to kind of imitate that sound. It doesn't sound like just his normal voice to me. But everybody's different. Everybody likes different things. So, I mean, if your ears only hear Jack Black, then that's what you hear, and I can't blame you for disliking that if that's not what you wanted.
Yeah, like I said, it's not that it doesn't sound good. It just if you know Mario, you know what he sounds like, and that
Yeah.
just doesn't sound like Mario. I don't hate
Yeah.
it, but
And
it don't sound like him.
I don't even think Mario has to like. I don't think Chris Pratt has to try to emulate Chris Martinet 100%, right? Like he
Charles
could just,
Martinet, don't get us canceled.
yeah, Charles Martinet. What did I say, Chris?
Yeah.
Canceled. Um, yeah, Charles. He doesn't have to perfectly emulate. Yeah, see, now I can't talk at all. Thanks. He doesn't have to perfectly emulate Charles Martinet, but he definitely shouldn't just show up and talk. But like I said, maybe things will be different once we actually get the full movie.
Yeah.
But it sounds like we just need to get BL Jonius down here for the premiere, and we're all going to go see it together on opening night.
Yes. Sounds like an excellent plan.
Most excellent, good sir.
Well, good talk, fellas.
Yeah.
What's our main topic today?
But it ain't over yet.
What's the main topic looking like?
Yeah,
Oh man,
Teronius, what is our main topic today?
I have no problem talking about our main topic today. Being that I like it when Bill Jonius gives us his intro because he calls us video game enthusiasts. That is true. But there is one genre that we're all particularly fond of, and it's fighting games. And the topic for today is, and I'm sure you guys can relate, why is it that most fighting games that are in development for a year, 2 years, hand drawn sprites, balance checks, testers, why is it that when they touch down, they're only relevant for like 2 months, 1 to 2 months, maybe 3 months? Why do they die out so quickly? Unless you're Street Fighter or Tekken. Why are fighting games on the decline? Like, why are the communities not populated? How does shooters, stay relevant? Don't really see a population decline, even with controversy involved. Overwatch. How do they stay relevant and afloat? But great games, yeah, like games like Under Night, Dungeon Fighter Duel, DNF Duel. What's another one? Melty Blood, all these great games, Samurai Showdown, these games struggle to
Soul
stay,
Calibur.
Oh man, I was trying to dodge that. Oh, my
I
chest.
can't let you.
Soul Calibur, yeah. These games struggle to keep an audience. So I want us to dissect why. Like why? I have a few theories of my own, but I want to hear you guys' take on how does Street Fighter survives off top because 5 was not a good entry. There, I said it. Y'all have heard me complain before. 5 wasn't great.
Yeah, there's no.
It's the brand name. It's the brand name and the
Yeah.
love of the characters that gives them a pass. Tekken, on the other hand, is the reverse. It was a great game. It's also the brand name, and I think that's what keeps it afloat.
Do you think Tekken 7 isn't that good?
No. I'm saying Tekken was the polar opposite. It was a great game, and it was a great game, and it has like a name brand, like a golden standard name.
Yep.
So Tekken didn't really have to worry about anything. Tekken was the popular brother, and Soul Calibur was the uncool. We're only letting you do this because your brother's cool. We're only letting you into the party because your brother's cool. But Soul Calibur got kicked out. It didn't stay relevant because of the crazy creator costumes that people kept seeing. But I'm not going to vent about that today. But I'm going to jump in this topic last. And I want y'all to, of course, I will give y'all feedback and interact with y'all's theories. But I just want to see where your thoughts were. Perhaps you guys could enlighten me.
Well, to start, we have Street Fighter and Tekken, like you said, that have just kind of withstood the test of time at this point. And I think we can add Mortal Kombat to that list pretty easily. They've each had their share of popularity for one reason or another. Be it with Mortal Kombat with the fatalities, Tekken being not the first 3D fighting game, but the first one to really take off, and then Street Fighter kind of being Street Fighter was the first fighting game, right? Like the first Street Fighter?
It was a fighting game, but it was still kind of like a side scroller. But it was technically a fighting game because if player 2 pressed start, they would
then
play
you
as
fight
Ken.
each other.
Yeah, one was Ryu and one was Ken, but you couldn't pick anyone else.
Well, fun fact: if player 2 won that fight, you could continue the game playing as Ken.
Oh, that's cool. I didn't know that.
Yeah. Yep, I just learned that a couple weeks ago. But yeah, so those three have all been around for a very similar length of time, right? So they have this kind of staying power in people's minds because they've been around for so long. There's been so many iterations of them, which is funny. The first fighting game actually has the fewest games in the series. So
yeah,
I don't know. Maybe that's part of why they can survive pretty easily. Whereas we have other games, DNF Duel was a great example. It was a game that everybody was hyped about. Everybody played the beta and was super into it. The game comes out, everybody's loving it, and everybody's having a good time. And that one seems to have died the fastest. It lasted maybe a month, and even the three of us are kind of guilty of that as well. We didn't play it much after that first month, I don't think. So, I guess the bigger question is, why did we stop playing?
But see, I want to say that, but I still was on it. I didn't link up too much with y'all, but I still played it. Like I still would play ranked with Striker.
Right.
Yeah.
I was pretty much exclusive Striker main. She's still one of my favorite characters. But I didn't just drop it. I played it. Now our group lobbies ceased, but that's more of different time frames and things like that.
Yeah.
But I didn't just drop it and run away.
And mine is a similar story. Like I jumped into ranked and played with Lost Warrior. I had several videos that I put out on my YouTube channel that I actually was going through and grinding through ranked. But at a certain point, I just didn't have that draw to come back anymore. And I don't want to say that I wasn't having fun with it. I just think it kind of plateaued in the level of fun I was having with it.
Mm-hmm.
The excitement kind of faded away.
Yeah, I don't know. Like for me, I was playing the game heavily when it first came out. I was playing a lot of Vanguard. This is before I even knew Vanguard was like super booty in the game, but I was playing him and playing a lot of Grappler, and I was having a good time with it. The reason I stopped playing the game personally, it came out like a month before Evo was about to happen. And I had, I had me a spot at Evo selling my artwork and stuff. So I actually stopped playing the game to like draw. Like I made artwork a priority over, playing the game to prepare for the show. So I didn't stop playing because I didn't like it. It was just because I just, felt like I needed to prepare for this event coming up. But I'm
and that's 100% fair.
Yeah, and I just feel like I feel like it's a lot of ways you can go with this question as to why you feel people, uh, turn down games, after such a short amount of time, and I really feel like there's no real right answer. I feel like there's a lot of right answers, you know what I mean? So I'm not sure which one is the one that's most prevalent, you know what I mean?
But then here's the question I have for you based on that is, why didn't you go back once Evo was over?
Well, after Evo was over, I actually, like I said, I've had commissions I've been doing. So same thing. Just
Oh,
been
okay.
drawing
So still, okay,
yeah. Just been drawing in place of that.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I'm not opposed to playing it if somebody wants to. You know what I mean? I have played it a couple times and had a good time with it. But the people that I played it with, they was like, "Man, that game's dead." I deleted it from my hard drive, and I'm like, "Wow, it's really been dead like that."
Dead. Yeah. Man.
Yeah.
And then what about you, Teronius? Why'd you stop, and why haven't you really played it lately? If you have stopped.
Well, I haven't played it in a while. I don't mind playing ranked. I like to play with people that I know, but I don't mind climbing the leaderboards.
Same.
My thing is more of, sometimes I have the attention of a squirrel or a goldfish. So when we have podcast stuff to do, or an adventure game or something comes out, I'll wind up beating that game, like Trials of Mana. I think that's honestly what took my focus off of it. But when I beat Trials of Mana, I didn't rewind and go back to it. I kind of just stare up at the ceiling, you know? So I don't rewind back until someone's like, hey, DNF Duel released a new balance patch. Or, hey, random reason to start playing DNF Duel again. Then I'll focus back on it.
So you just had another game kind of kick you out of that groove?
Yeah, that's my thing. But I get that. But what I'm saying is these games take a huge hit for people that love fighting games. There are some people that almost exclusively play fighting games, or there are people that exclusively play. They're exclusive to these communities, like Under Night, or there's this game. It's called Them's Fighting Herds, and it was farm animals like
Good
cows
looking
and
game.
yeah, and it actually had like combos and super jumps and all this stuff. And it had a community for a while. That one even lasted a while. You have people that are exclusive to these communities and they want to keep playing them. But I'm just wondering, you know, what contributes to the decline. But mine is definitely attention span. Like I'll play something and don't go back to it. But lately, uh, besides filming gameplay for the pod, I haven't even committed to playing a game, whether that be a new fighter or adventure game. You know, so gaming as a whole, I haven't been focusing on that. But there are people out there that, as I said, almost exclusively focus on gaming.
Don't tell people that.
And fighters, I know, right? Fighters, they're drowning. They have this meme. This meme isn't really funny to me, but people think it's funny. It shows this parent picking their kid up in the pool, and there's another kid in front of the camera like he's drowning. And that's how I feel like fighting games are. Like fighting games is the kid that's drowning, and all the other games like shooters, RPGs, they're getting more attention and love than fighters.
It's funny you say
A
that,
sneak
though.
peek. Oh, go ahead.
Because I was gonna say, like, you brought up a fighting game that I've never even heard of. What did you say it was called?
Them's Fighting Herds.
Them's Fighting Herds.
Yeah, it's about farm animals and such fighting each other.
So, like, that kind of made me think about something else. Is like maybe part of it is that the fighting game market is just oversaturated. We have too many fighting games, and so a lot of people, you know, especially people who aren't 100% committed to fighting games and buying every single one that's coming out, you know, they only have time to play a fighting game for so long before they have to move on to something else. You know, we have so many fighting games. Like we had,
that's a good reason.
You know, look at the Power Rangers Battle for the Grid fighting game. It's still got a decent fan base that plays that game pretty consistently, but
and
how many people are on it on a daily basis?
Well, I'll say that I honestly thought that game was going to die out quickly.
Yeah.
BL Jonius and my brother used to have epic battles in that game. I'd watch them play match after match. That game debuted with no voice acting. Balance was balance was all over the place.
Was there balance?
I thought it was it really was no balance. I honestly thought that game was dead on arrival, but they persisted and they fought through it. And I think they released 3 seasons worth of content and some impressive content. The World Warriors, Ryu and Chun-Li, are in the Power Rangers game, and they guest star as Power Rangers. And you would think that this game that I thought was going to be dead on arrival, stuff like that, that license, that marketing would be out of reach. So they exceeded my expectations and, you know, made things happen. And I think they got a decent turnout. And I still believe that Battle for the Grid has a player base right now. It may not be overflowing, but it's enough to justify their use of the server.
It does, and that's what I was saying is like how it does have a fighting base still, but it's probably very small, especially compared to that first couple of months. But what's up, BL Jones?
Let me give you a brief, like my brief history of Power Rangers Battle for the Grid, and within what I tell you guys, it actually should open up the discussion about other things as to why games could die out, because I'm going to tell you a reason why I didn't play it at first, and then I'm going to tell you a reason why I kept playing it, and then I'm going to tell you a reason why I really enjoy the game, but then at the same time I haven't played it because it's something that I don't like about it. So
Mm.
Battle for the Grid, I remember when they first announced that game, just like any kid from the 90s, you're like, what? A legit Power Rangers fighting game? Can't wait for this,
Right.
you know? So I saw that and I was super excited. I was like, can't wait for this game, right? So I seen trailers for the game and I was like, man, this game looked like a dang PlayStation 1 game. Like like the graphics just didn't look that good, you
Uh,
know? And that may be
we
like,
might be a little too harsh
yeah,
on
that
that
may be harsher than
one.
what I should be, but like it didn't look like
Right.
Tekken 7 or anything like that, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So at first I was like, oh, whatever, like I try it out. And at the time, they have a game on the phone. It's a Power Rangers game. It's like a turn-based fighting game, but the graphics, I actually think they took assets from that and put it into Battle for the Grid because the game looked identical to the cell phone version of it. And speaking of Chun Li and Ryu, they both are in that cell phone game like before they were put into the console versions. But anyways, when the game first came out, I remember I bought it, I downloaded it, and I went into training mode and I played around with it for like 20 minutes. And I was like, man, this game just feels cheap. Like it just feels cheaply made. I remember like jumping around and I was like, man, these characters seem really floaty. And I was like, this game just seems like, I hate to say it, man, but at the time, it's just me being ignorant to like what the game had to offer because I didn't really give it a chance. But I was like, this game feels like dumpster juice. You know, I wasn't feeling it. You know, so I gave up on the game pretty quickly. I think the game was like $20, $25. I bought that, played the game for like 20, 30 minutes, and then put it down, right? For that reason.
Ooh,
So
dollar a minute.
yeah, so fast forward, right, to maybe like a year later, Toronius and his brother and
What
his
up?
brother,
Yeah, for sure.
Toronius and his brother were playing the game. And Toronius hit me up and he said, BL Jonius, we are playing Power Rangers. I don't know if you have this game or not, but you should check it out. Then I replied to Toronius and I said, I actually have this game. And I played it for a few minutes and I put it down. Toronius then said, well, me and my brother are playing. You should check it out and get back into it after you watch us play a couple of matches. And I was like, you know what, Toronius? I'll watch you guys play a couple of matches. So I watched
Are
Toronius.
you, my lord?
I watched Toronius and his brother play some matches, and I was like, all right, whatever. I start playing the game. I get into it. So after I started playing the game, I was like, oh wait, this game is kind of fun. You know what I'm saying? After I really gave it, a chance. So then I started playing it, and I started looking up combo videos and all this stuff. Next thing you know, I'm like into the game, just like I am into any other fighting game. You know what I mean? So then I started playing it online, started playing Toronius' brother quite often for hours at a time, having a good old time with the game, right? So time progresses, and me and his brother stop playing, and then I just go online and I'm playing different people, right? And the one thing that really bugged me about the game is the combo structure in the game and the damage. So I'm not against the damage really, but like how easy the combos are. Like everybody in the game can like touch a death kill you, like from like 3 jabs. Like the combos scale, but your attacks are still strong enough for everybody in the game to like kill you with not that many resources and not even all your assists used in combos. You can just kill people. And I was
And
like,
pretty easily
yeah,
too, right?
yeah, yeah. And I was like, okay,
Yeah.
a lot of games got touch of death combos these days. I'm not against those, but most games where you do touch of death combos,
You got to put in
they
work.
might be a little harder to do. Like some links are hard to do. Yeah, you have to use a lot of resources. And in Power Rangers, you can start a combo with no meter, 0 meter, and halfway through your combo, you've gained enough meter to do EX move and super and kill one character. And on top of that, the execution for the combos are just super easy. You know what I mean? So after playing the game for a while and that was happening to me, and then I was doing it to people, even if I was doing it to people, I was like, man, I don't like this. Like, I don't like that I can just start a combo off with some scalable hits and then still kill you pretty
Mm-hmm.
easily. And it's not really that hard to do. You know what I mean? So for that reason, as
Yeah.
time progressed, like I kind of stopped playing it because I'm just not a fan of that. You know what I mean? And that happens if you watch any tournament of Power Rangers, like that happens often. Like that's a normal thing. You know what I mean? But for some reason, the people in Power Rangers Battle for the Grid, they like that. They say that's what they want. That's why they keep coming back to play it. But for me, I just I just feel like they need like a combo breaker or something in the game. You know, like I don't want to die because you hit me with a light attack, crouching light attack 3 or 4 times, and then you go into your combo route, and then now I'm dead. And you didn't.
Well, it sounds like you need to stop playing Power Rangers and play Killer Instinct.
Well, I never played. I played
Killer
Killer Instinct a
Instinct.
couple of times. I really like the game, but not. I didn't play it because I don't
There's
have
your
an
combo
Xbox.
breakers.
Yeah, but I didn't play it enough to like really get into it, and I only have an Xbox. But anyways, that's my Power Rangers story. So it looked cheap. I didn't play it, so that's why I didn't get into it. Started playing it,
Yeah.
liked it, and then as I kept playing it, I was like, man, like it's really fun, but I don't like dying all the time very easily. And this person, it really don't take that much execution, and it's a lot of damage, and the combos are just like super easy. So I don't really play it for that reason. But I will say this, and this is probably a hot take: the Power Rangers Battle for the Grid game, for me, if they added like maybe if they toned down the combos a little bit so you just can't kill people in one combo, or they added like a combo breaker or something, that game would easily be like one of my top fighting games like ever. Like it's a really good game. I wouldn't say it's like my number one, but if I had like a top 20, 15 list of games, like it would be there. Like it's a really good game. It's just the damage thing that just makes me not want to play it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Got you. Got you. Sure.
Yep.
I remember you telling me that you he pulled up on the purple Muay Thai Ranger and he deleted you by himself. He didn't need no assistance. You remember that
No,
story,
no, no,
Bill
no, no.
Jones?
So hey, look, check this out. We'll put this clip up right here. Just look at the screen. You can see it play out right here. This Purple Ranger hit me with a couple of attacks by himself, no assist or anything, and just deleted your boy's health by himself. Like he didn't have to use no Megazord combos. He didn't have to use no assist. It was just all him. Like, and I was like, geez, you can do that in the game, So
I don't even want to play this game no more.
yeah, man.
You just got purpled, Bill
That's
Jonius.
a regular occurrence in the game. I mean, super fun game. And then one last thing too, as to because we're talking about people not sticking with games. That being a fun game is actually a game with one button specials. You know what I mean? And
Mm-hmm.
at the beginning, well, I won't say that game, but like games have started to adopt that feature where they have like one button or two button specials to make it, more accessible for people who have a hard time doing the motion controls. And I will say that was
Yeah.
another thing when the game first came out. I was I was a 100% against one button specials. I'm like, bruh, I come from I'm not saying the games that I really love to play, they're like super hard, but I come from Street Fighter 5 where I play Viper and I got all these jump cancels and one hit confirm ultras, and I even played Balrog and he had one button, one frame links and stuff like that.
We know you flexing. We know
Well,
you
yeah, but like,
sweaty.
yeah, I come from doing that and then into a game where it's just like you can do that in one button, and then on top of that, it's like super easy to do. And I was like, I'm definitely
Mm-hmm.
not getting into that. But
So what changed your
but
mind?
as time progressed and I kept playing the game, it was so fun. I actually like overlooked that. I was like, it really don't matter.
Mm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I went off on a little rant right there, but I mean that's also a reason.
Good thing this is
That's
our
also a
show. You know what
reason
I'm
too
Right.
why
saying?
people, they may stay for a game or leave it. They're like, well, one button specials, I don't like that. That's going to make people who are not as good almost compete with me.
On par. They don't have the
Yeah,
technical skill yet. They're keeping up
right.
with me. Yeah, interesting. You say that. That's part of my sit rep at the end. That's why I said I was going to wait till the end. Now I'm not going to have no 40-minute
People
monologue, but I feel like that I'm going to slam dunk it home. You know.
will
So
bring
that's
us
why I was
home.
letting y'all get y'all's theories out.
Do you got any more like particular reasons as to why you feel like things die down for games? Lambonius, because I got a couple, but I want you to go. I want to
Eh,
keep out there.
I think part of it might be that people don't like to lose anymore, and they don't
I
want
know
to
that's
put in the
right.
effort to like really improve at a game. Which at the same time, like if you're not having
Entitled.
fun with a game, then you're not having fun with it. That's fine. Games at the end of the day, you're supposed to have fun with. But I don't know. Like and this is gonna sound like us being old men. Like I remember when we found a game that we had fun with, even if we lost, we had fun. And it was just the thrill of the fight that made the game fun, not winning or losing. Um,
Yo. Pass me the baton right quick. Sorry to interrupt, but you just got me. I got to get this out there. Appreciate you.
get it out there.
So what you said, man, this is gonna sound like I'm attacking the younger generation, right? So no hard feelings, youngsters. I'm still in my prime. I'm still young at heart. I still can backflip off the wall.
Back in
But
my
I came
day.
from a different, yeah, I came from a different timeline than y'all did. You know, a different era. Because I see YouTubers, not putting anybody on blast. I'm not going to name any names. There's more than one, but I see YouTubers get paid
He
to
knows who
rage
he
quit
is.
and break. Yeah, well, I'm not going to say he, she, they, whatever. It's more than one, but they get paid to rage quit. They get paid to break their software. They get paid to punch walls. That's embarrassing. That's embarrassing, and to me, it makes you look as if you don't have any class, you don't have any restraint, you don't have any discipline. Video games are a pastime, right? For some others, they're careers, but most importantly, it's a competition. If it's a competition, we're expected to show a bit of maturity, be graceful in defeat, especially if you're on camera. You have people that admire you, look up to you, and you breaking your equipment. Come on, you know I'm sitting here working my regular day job, which I hope to get out of soon. But I get to watch you be at home
Hope they're not
and
listening.
play video games as your pastime, and you rage quit before the match ends. Like, come on! It like you know what I mean? Like
Mm-hmm.
I'm sitting here like, what is this?
Or go back
And
to the
I'm
home
just figuring
screen
out.
when you get a super on you.
Yeah, yeah, and you say people don't deserve the win? Like, what is
Mm-hmm.
wrong with you? Like,
Yeah.
come on. Like, get real. Anyways, I'm gonna throw the baton back to Lambonius. I did not mean to impede on him explaining because I have quite a bit left to unpack, as I usually say. But that's one thing I want to get out of there is this generation, they don't like losing. Losing is the worst thing ever. Instead of asking themselves asking themselves what went wrong there. Let's study the film. Did I have a gap in my strings? Was I too aggressive? Was I too defensive? Instead of that, they make excuses and say the game's trash or the character is trash and they rage quit. And I don't know how that became cool. I don't know how that became popular, but that is not a good look for the future of fighting games. And Lambonius, I'm giving you back the baton and I'm going to take a seat in the back.
Well, the answer for
Deuces.
me is always that I get too aggressive and I throw my matches. So there's that. But yeah, I feel like people just don't like to lose anymore, and we've seen this in person. You and I both, Toro. We've talked about it in person about how we go to tournaments, and it'll be the first tournament of a game, and there's a big crowd. 30, 40 people there, which doesn't sound like a big crowd, but for where we're from, that's a pretty decent crowd to turn out for a fighting game. Um, and after the first tournament, especially after the first round, half the crowd's gone. Like people lose and then they're out. They don't care about the rest of the tournament. They only wanted to show up to see if they could win, and then they never show up again because why would I waste my time? Blah blah blah. Why would I go up there? Which I could understand if if it was an entry fee into the tournament, but when we have free tournaments, you show up to hang out with everybody and for the thrill of the competition. You don't show up to win. I mean, surely you have to know that only one person can win at the end of the day. So why let losing get you down? I know it sounds bad, but the odds were against you anyway. Show up for the
Yeah.
thrill of the competition.
Yeah.
Show up to hang out with like-minded individuals, to meet new people. That was some of the most fun that I had in the gaming scene, was back when we really had a lot of tournaments around town, getting to meet new people and hanging out with them. It wasn't about the tournament itself necessarily. That was just the avenue for us to hang out, you know?
Yeah.
And now with everything being online, which, don't get me wrong, online functionality is a great thing to have. It is revolutionary for the fighting scene. It's really brought a lot of people into fighting games because you don't have to only play against the AI or have friends come over to play with them. It's great. But nobody wants to really get out and like form a community in person anymore. And I feel like that's part of what really helped fighting games carry beyond that initial 2 or 3 months, was the communities that would develop in person to keep that game alive online.
That's because a lot of people's social skills are not what they used to be. And I'm not here to people bash. So, I'm just being honest. Uh, a lot, and I want to say a lot, I don't have the exact number, but people struggle to express their feelings and control their emotions. And as you said, Lambonius, I said Lambone. Oh man, Lambonius.
Wrong
Uh,
show.
yeah, as you said, Lambonius. People don't stick around and hey man, you play Cody, I'll play Cody too. Got any tips?
Mm-hmm.
I got eliminated in round 2. I'm gonna stick around and see how you do and see if I can improve my game. That's the way it should be. But the real timeline is, I got my ass kicked. That guy doesn't play Cody better than me. He just got lucky. I'm out of here. And then they leave and they go pout. Like,
Yeah.
that's just the sad, grim reality of it right
Mm-hmm.
now. So that's another take on it. But my bad. I jumped in again.
Oh no,
But
you're good. This is
like
a
I said,
conversation. Feel free to jump
oh
in.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not up on stage giving a lecture, so
Yeah.
And like one thing I noticed too, like I said, I think there's a lot of right answers as to why games are dying down. But one thing I don't get personally, um, people say they don't like certain things in games, but yet it's acceptable in other games and it's fine. You know what I mean? Like for instance, like in DNF Duel, people will say you fight this whole game, this whole match, and then this person gets into their awakening state or trait, and then they have these extra abilities, and now you just lose the game, and they're like, or you lose the game in like a combo or two, and they're like, that's cheap, that's dumb, I hate this game. But
Revenge mechanic / comeback mechanic,
right.
right?
mm-hmm.
But then
Gotcha,
there's other
gotcha. Okay.
games that have comeback mechanics, and those games they might even do it worse than DNF Duel, but these games are being played 10 years later and currently at tournaments today at a high level still. And these are games that do
Yeah.
the same thing that these other games do, you know?
And it's just like we were talking about earlier. It's that star power.
Mm-hmm.
So go ahead and you
Yeah.
mind giving us an example of what game you're talking about and enlighten me.
So one of the games is Marvel, like Marvel 3.
Oh man, should have known. Ah,
You
comeback
just coming
mechanic bad.
straight out of the gate with the big guns.
Spider-Man mask make
Yeah,
okay.
but in Marvel 3, you got characters like Zero that
Mm-hmm.
literally it's a movie once he gets going. And he'll delete your whole life bar. He'll delete all three characters' life bars, and you just have to sit there and watch because they're unblockables. But people love it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Or if you play with Phoenix and you play in a way to get her 5 meters up, and once she get 5 meters and she dies, then all of a sudden this character that can die in 2 or 3 hits. They're so strong they can kill all your team in just a mix up or two, and then you dead in like 5 seconds. But
Yeah.
people are like, oh, this game's amazing, I love it, But a game a game like DNF Duel does the same thing, and then it's like this game is cheap. That's why nobody plays this game. But for the
And
longest,
it
Yeah.
wasn't even that bad in DNF Duel. Like X Factor is way worse than Awakening is.
Dante gun go boom
yeah.
boom.
So and then on the screen here, because I put a clip right here of a DNF duel match that I had fighting against this particular opponent, but they were winning the whole match, and then I have grappler and I do one combo and they just dead. You know what I'm saying? And I remember playing this guy, and he was like, "See, that's why nobody don't like playing this game. Like I was beating you the whole time with whoever he was playing, striker I think it was." And then once I get one clean hit on him, I take 70% life and he dead. And he's hit me 20 times already. You know what I mean? So
He should have finished the job.
yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
But the downfall with that is
Part of DNF with the Awakening is you have to play around it. Like there were, especially towards the end, there were several times where I would stop my combo on purpose to keep the opponent from being in Awakening, so that my next combo would kill them without them ever having their Awakening trait. Like that's part of the strategy of DNF, is knowing when to stop your combo so that your opponent doesn't have access to the one thing you're worried about them having.
There it is. Because if Hitman wakes up, you lose.
Yeah.
You lose. If Swiftmaster, well, hell, Swiftmaster
He
ain't
got
got to
nerfed
wake
into
up.
the ground.
Yeah, he recently got nerfed. So he got knocked down a bit.
Mhm.
But pre-nerf Swiftmaster, he didn't even have to wake up. He'll body you while he sleep.
Yep.
But if Hitman wake up, your ass is grass. You're
Game
done.
over.
That's it.
yeah, but
Yep.
those are some of the things that happen in that game that it's apparently not okay, but then other games do it and it's a-okay. So and then on top of
Yeah.
that, these things are happening in the game, like you guys say, Swiftmaster got nerfed and stuff like that, but because the developers haven't given any news on new DLC characters or any news on patches for the game, people are like, oh well, I'm over this game now. They're not giving us enough
Yeah.
info, and then they just
They'll call it like the game just came out, but since the armchair developers aren't getting new characters when they feel like they should receive them, they'll say the game is dead, and they'll take to Twitter and it'll trend that the game is dead, and then everybody will follow.
Yep.
That's another one of my points that I'm gonna bring up here in just a bit. I'm sitting in my chair in anticipation. So
Rocking back and forth.
but that's
just
another
waiting.
good point.
yeah.
Just waiting. I'm not going to try to turn it into a National Geographic documentary. We're not going to have a 2-hour podcast tonight, but I do have some points I want to
And
get
one last
across.
thing before I let you go, one thing
Right on.
that I've seen a lot for a lot of games, and I actually told you guys about this, but the Street Fighter 6 beta came out, and for the most part, I want to say 95%, 98% of people that I've heard, they speak about the game very positively. They like the gameplay, they like the freedom in the combos. Like there's no right or wrong way to do stuff. Like they've given you options, and on top of that, they got the world tour mode, all this stuff, right? But I follow a person on Facebook. I'm not gonna put their name out there, but anyways,
Is it me?
uh, it's not Lambonius this time.
Oh.
But no, so
Damn it.
this guy's a popular player in the FGC or whatever. Like a lot of people know about him, and he played the game, and then he gave his critiques on the game, and it was super negative. It was like, I don't want to play a game that every normal is negative. Blah blah. You just this and that and that and this, and it was a very negative review on the game. So with somebody that's I guess high, like that has that star power, and they say stuff like that, you can easily sway people to like the game or dislike the game. You know what I mean? And
Hmm?
a lot of people were commenting on his post saying like, "Yeah, this game is trash" and all this. And I'm like, "Geez, like some of y'all don't even got the beta code to even play it yourself to even say it's good or bad. You know what I mean? Y'all just going off of
Yeah.
what this person is saying. So that happens a lot. And then the same person, right? The next day or two, like into the beta, he writes again, like, "Oh, I'm starting to like it a little bit more." And it's like, you had these comments about this game like after like what 4 or 5 hours of playing, you like, "Oh, I don't like."
Yeah, it was first day of the beta, wasn't it?
Yeah, and then I remember he wrote at the
Yeah.
end of the thing, he was like, "And I will not," he put in all caps, "not be purchasing this game day one." And I was like, "Geez." And then
Yeah.
the next day, he's like, "Yeah, the game, I'm it's starting to grow on
It's
me a
kind
little."
of fun.
And I'm like, "Bro, come on, man. Like that goes into why people play or not play games. Like people will
Yeah.
watch things or listen to things and they'll hear stuff and they'll be like, well, I'm not getting it if he says this. You know what I mean? So I feel like a lot of people move off emotions before actually thinking. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying this brother doesn't think, but in this moment, I feel like writing that this game is very bad and I will not be picking it up. And then the next day he's like, oh, it's kind of growing on me. It's like, you should play the whole 3 days of the beta first, and then is not
I
just
agree.
one
Yeah.
half a day. You know what I mean? So that all goes into why games can be down as well. Like people with the star power, they put out maybe not the best message so early on. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. And a prime example of that is like if you're looking at a review for a new game, and it doesn't have to be a fighting game, just any game. And or no, let's make it a little different. You're looking at a review for a movie and you're trying to decide if you want to go see the movie. Do you want to listen to the critic who's only watched the first 15 minutes of the movie to decide if you want to go see it, or do you want somebody who's actually sat through the whole thing?
Somebody who's actually sat through the whole thing for sure.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
you know, people that speak too early on their opinions, this guy's a perfect example on their opinion of the beta after only playing it for a couple of hours. That's not enough time to really delve into the game to figure out if you truly like it.
Yeah, and one last thing, because that's this is probably my last point on it, and it's kind of what you just said, but I'm just gonna tell you a brief story that I had. It's very brief. It'd be like less than a minute, right? So I remember one time
I'm timing you.
I met this young lady, right? And we were talking, and it was like a first date type thing. And she was like,
Mm-hmm.
"Oh, so what do you like to do?" I was like, "Oh, I like to draw and stuff." And she was like, "Oh, that's cool. Like, what kind of music do you listen to, or whatever while you're drawing?" I was like, "Well, I actually listen to podcasts and stuff like that." She was like, "Oh, what type of podcast do you listen to?" I was like, "I listen to this podcast. I listen to that podcast. I listen to this podcast." And she was like, "Oh, you listen to that podcast?" And I was like, "Yeah." She was like, "Why would you listen to that? I feel like you're a very bright person. I don't know why you would like listen to this type of stuff?" And I was like, "Well, I find it
Mm-hmm.
interesting." And then she was like, "Well, I don't think it's very good or informative or whatever?" And I was like, "Well, why do you think this?" This is what she said next. And in my brain, I was punching the sky like, "Why do you think like this?" So she was like, "Well, I don't think this person's podcast is good because of these reasons and that reason. And there's some people that I listen to that say that this podcast isn't good. That's why
Yeah.
I don't listen to it." And I was like, "Hold on, wait. So you're telling me that you don't listen to something because someone else told you that it's not good?" I was like, "Don't you think maybe you should listen to it before you say it's good or bad?" Like, I was like, the person that you're getting this info from could easily be telling you something just so you don't view their stuff. It could be right or wrong, or it could be a complete lie. Like, shouldn't you follow your own judgment? She was like, "Well, I just believe what they say, so I'm just gonna do that." And it was like,
Oh,
plus this person's podcast is only about this and that and this and that. And I was like, "No, you're wrong. This person talks to doctors, scientists. He talks about food. He talks about sports. He talks about racing. He talks about money, like a lot of different things. And right now, you just told me this person only speaks about this because you got your information from this one person that literally told you wrong." You know what I mean? and this is coming, and I'm the person that listens to what this person told you not to listen to. So they're completely wrong, or they chose not to tell you all the other cool things that this person does. So, anyways, I'm saying all that to say there are people out there that will not even use their own brain to determine if they like something or not. You know what I mean? They'll just say,
Eh,
"Oh, Lambonia said this." Well, and they'll be like, "Okay, well, I'll just follow what Lambonia
don't
said."
trust me.
Yeah, don't I just do whatever what he says to do instead of what
Yep.
I feel like, So, anyways, people out there
And
like
I'll be
that,
the first one to say,
yeah,
don't just take me at my word. If you think I'm wrong, by all means, look it up yourself. Even if you think I'm right, look
look
it
it
up
up.
yourself.
Yeah, but some people just don't.
Because there's always the chance that you think I'm right and I'm actually wrong.
Yeah, so there's definitely people out there that they just listen to somebody and they just go with it. And these person
Mm-hmm.
can be telling you
Yep.
right, wrong, or a lie, and you'll never know because you're blindly following somebody. You know what I mean?
Yep. So all of a sudden somebody comes out
Don't
and they're
blindly
like,
follow.
man, Tekken 7's dead. And the next thing you know, you got a bunch of people thinking Tekken 7's dead.
And then
Got a knowledge bomb for you, our listeners.
Drop
I've been
it.
sitting here quiet, letting my co-hosts, give their wonderful opinions, but question everything,
Mm-hmm.
assume nothing.
yeah, and then
There you go.
one the game what's the game, man, that sold millions of copies? Oh, Guilty Gear. So it's funny because that game has never really been like a mainstream game. Like it's a game that everyone knows about, not everyone plays it.
Mm-hmm.
But this last Guilty Gear, it was the one that I played. Like I've never played any other Guilty Gear, but this one came out and I thought it looked really good. And from what everyone was telling me, that this is an easier Guilty Gear. Like it's not really that hard, compared to the other ones, you know. And but for some reason, that made this most recent Guilty Gear like the most sold Guilty Gear ever. Like it sold like I think it reached a little over 1 million copies sold, and that's way more than any other previous Guilty Gears had. And it's got a way bigger
Yeah.
player base, but they like changed the gameplay all the way up. But like it's completely different based on what people have been telling me. And that game, I don't know how it's doing right now, but I'm assuming from those sales numbers, there's still a community out there playing it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's probably
Yeah.
on the higher end of the quote unquote dead games.
Yeah, it's a very good game
But
for sure.
yeah, I think it's just that people, one of the biggest things is that people have the fighting games that they like, and then they try other fighting games, and then when that fighting game isn't exactly like the game that they already like, say Street Fighter, then they're like, oh, this game was fun, but it's not Street Fighter, and so they go back to Street Fighter.
Yeah.
I think that's probably what a lot of it is. But I know you're just raring to go, Toronius, so drop that bomb on us. Let us know what's
Herodias,
up.
please give us your insight of how you feel about this.
At last, my time has finally
The
come.
audience has waited long
I'm
enough.
gonna just the mighty Toronius now finally shares his opinion. So I hate to be so much of a letdown, but a lot of my points y'all already have addressed. Now, with that being said, I haven't said that in a couple episodes. I used to say it all the time in the very beginning. With that being said, I want to say that the gaming world, self image and self worth is everything. That's how I feel. Shooters outlast fighting games because most shooters, a lot of them are team based, and the ones that aren't team based, solo games, when you get popped, you can immediately jump into another lobby and you get to try again. Or Call of Duty, what is it? The Gulag or something like that? I don't really play it, but if you get dropped, you got a second chance to come back if you fight your way out of the prison or something, the Gulag or whatever. Fighting games are different.
Oh,
They're like a
you're
gladiator.
talking about what is that, Warzone? The Battle
Yeah,
Royale Call
one
of
of
Duty?
them. Yeah,
Gotcha.
yeah, that one. Fighting games, it's more like a gladiator arena. It's you versus your opponent. The best, what is it, 2 out of 3 rounds, no way out. And if you getting bodied, there is no instant go to the next lobby. You have to get bodied these rounds and assess your mistakes and do better. People don't like being outskilled and outclassed. They don't want to blame their lack of skill. They want to blame the character. This character's bad. These mechanics are bad. The combo structure's bad. Like, they don't like that sense of self-worth being low. And they don't like the bitter taste of defeat. They can't get used to that taste. But what they don't realize is when you lose and you dedicate yourself to improving, I'm not saying you'll be the next Evo champion, but you'll have a more delightful, funner time if you can spend your time learning the character. Fighting games are not meant to be mastered in a matter of days, in a matter of weeks, not even in a matter of months. They intend for you to uncover secrets about the character over the lifespan of the game. The average gamer, the casual gamer, doesn't understand that. And they will denounce the game and they'll quit playing it. And that's part of the reason why fighting games endurance does not hold up. Which brings me to the second thing about making excuses about a defeat. Now, I've seen many a gamer complain about this feature. And this stuff isn't cheap. It costs money. And I'm about to drop this knowledge bomb on you is rollback netcode. For the longest, all I heard people was whining and bitching about rollback. Where's rollback? It's just unacceptable in this day and age.
If it doesn't have rollback,
you have
it's
to
trash.
Understand. There it is. And they would take this feedback and they will implement rollback. And these games will get rollback netcode like Melty Blood. Melty Blood has rollback. I think they just introduced rollback. I said rollback to Blaze Blue Cross Tag Battle. I think rollback. Boy, am I having such a damn hard time saying rollback. RB netcode. I'll say RB. Yeah, RB netcode was introduced to Central Fiction. So come on, dude. What's rollback netcode, dude? That's gonna be my obnoxious casual gamer voice. So if you offended, I'm sorry, dude. But that's how I'm gonna talk, dude. Yep. And I'm saying dude, by the way.
Ringtone.
But they'll ask for they're asking for rollback netcode and they get it and they don't stick with it. So that's the entitled casual gamer. I got another excuse. I remember when DNF Duel was first coming out and somebody trashed the game and it hadn't even came out yet. It said lack of modes. And Ulteronius, I don't like to clap back too much, but I feel bad because I kind of shut him down. And I was asking, like, what type of modes in a fighting game? It has story mode, it has versus mode. Like, what other modes are you expecting? And he couldn't boomerang me a response. He kind of just sat in his chair, defeated. And I felt bad, but you spread a negative influence about the game, and you can't even give me a solution. So I just feel like that people sit at home rocking in their chairs, making this excuse like, this game sucks, dude. Where's kart racing mode, dude? Where's Call of Duty mode, dude? Like,
hey, you gotta admit, though, fighting games would be more fun if they all had a kart racing mode.
Come on, dude. Where's board game mode, dude? DDR mode, dude. Like, they start asking all these modes in fighting. Yeah, that right there. Like, come on. Like, you being unfair. So one of the things that I noticed, let's go to Tekken 7. You had many a troll that tried to say the game was bad, said it was unbalanced and all this stuff. And I had this one guy, and I'm not going to put him on blast. I refuse. But I heard this in real time, real person. I'm not going to give Tekken 7 a chance, dude. And I was like, why? He's like, because Lei Wulong's not in the game, dude. That's unacceptable to me, dude. He's a legacy character, dude. And I was like, so you play Lei? Oh, no, dude. He just should be in the game, dude. And I was like, what? So he's crying for Lei Wulong, and he don't even main Lei Wulong. And he refuses to buy the game because Lei's not in the game. And they added Lei later. But you want to know what I saw? He was not a popular pick. And I think Lei Wulong is a badass.
He is.
But Lei Wulong has about 100 and something moves. And to the casual gamer, he has too many moves, dude. About 300 moves, dude. So they don't want to. They don't want to learn all 5 or 6 of his stances.
Yeah.
So I feel like that they're beating their fist on the table, asking for things, and they're not even going to utilize them. They don't stay with rollback netcode. They just ask for it. Character requests. They'll ask for characters. The character comes out. The character isn't overpowered as they want them to be. You actually have to use your think cap and win. And they'll say the character's bad. You know what I mean?
Another great example.
And then,
how many people demanded Setsuka in Soul Calibur 6 versus how many people saw playing Setsuka after she was released?
Yeah, for sure. I just think it's wanting for stuff in the moment, you know, and that's not fair. The casual gamers, they don't think about all the work, blood, sweat, and tears that comes into animating the characters, you know, getting the animations right, balancing out the game, creating the scenery, creating the storyboards, the blueprints of the game. All that stuff takes time. And this is these people's livelihoods. And here you are on Twitter chewing on your keyboard saying the game is bad because you played 3 hours of beta. Like, I would think as adults, we have more class than that. But this day and age, you can get away with spewing out this nonsense. And when you spew this nonsense out, it sways opinions. And for some reason, people run towards negativity more than reinforcing positivity. And I see it all the time. And that's unacceptable. And if fighting games are to survive, then we need to change our mindset. You know what I'm saying?
Which isn't to say that you should.
So I'm not trying to be.
Go ahead.
Oh, no, go ahead. Go ahead.
Which isn't to say that you should buy a game simply because people put in hard work. Like, if you're not into the game, that's fine. But, you know, I believe we've said this before.
I agree.
You can have criticisms about a product and not be a dick about it.
Yeah. Kind of like me in the Mario movie.
Yeah.
I don't think I was obnoxious. I just gave my
you were over the top.
Elaborated. I just gave my honest, elaborated opinion, dude. What's wrong with that, dude? But anyways, but yeah, that's my take on it. And if fighting games, the population is going to change, then we need to be more mature and understanding of when we take a loss. Because as I said, single player games versus AI and shooters, especially team shooters, you can hide your performance behind, you know,
your teammates
getting into a lobby again, or your teammates. Your teammates can carry you. Fighting games, it's just you and the other person. And some people can't handle that. And if you're one of those people that can't handle that, then maybe fighting games aren't for you. Or you can weather the storm, do your research, and get better. You know? It's what makes the game fun, especially when you're playing with a character that you want to play, who you want to represent. You know, it's a fun time. Go out and make friends. Who knows? You could meet a fellow Ken player and y'all could have a lifelong bond because y'all started talking about Ken. Of course I'm going to use Ken because that's my boy, but you know what I mean. So Go out, have fun, play video games. Like, don't rush to the anger emotion, or don't rush to the worthless emotion.
Mm-hmm.
Just enjoy the game for what it is. It's that simple.
And if you show up to a tournament and you get your ass whooped in the first round, go up and talk to the person. Hey, man, good game. You know,
for sure.
I did not have a response to what you were doing. I wasn't sure what to do. You know, good job. Congratulate them. Respect your competition and move on.
Yep. Yeah. Respect your competition because you never know what could come out of it. Hey, Labonius, you really kicked my ass with Astroth. I'm Terodius. We should play again sometime. You see, it wasn't even hard. You know what I'm saying?
Hell yeah, bro. Anytime.
It's not hard,
You did
dude.
great.
Easier said than done, dude.
Just watch out. Whenever
That's
I do
right,
that
dude.
down A plus G, just make sure to jump. You'll be all right, man.
Down A plus G, dude.
Yeah.
Duly noted, dude.
Yeah.
Anyways, before we turn this into casual game of Bonanza, I'm about to park the party bus because we have been
getting.
I feel like we've been scolding y'all this episode, and it's not intentional.
It's been a heavier
but we just
episode
had to
for
get
sure.
to the bottom. Yeah, we don't want fighting games to go extinct. And as always, I accept criticism willingly. If you think I'm off my rocker and I should chill, let me know. But be warned, I will have a rebuttal in the comments because I feel like that I'm headed in the right direction, and I don't want fighting games to die. You guys be on the lookout. We're in the talks of a Halloween episode. I have no idea what it's going to insist of, or I say insist. Consist. Boy, I'm tripping. Where's my dictionary? I'm a lore master and I don't know the meaning of words. Anyways, I don't know what it's going to consist of, but you guys stay tuned. I'm excited for it, even though I don't know what's going on. I'm not super into Halloween. Gasp.
How dare you?
Bill Jonius and Lambonius, they're going to make sure that episode's
Get
good.
this man out of my sight.
But yeah, I'm parking the party wagon as we speak. And I say it all the time. Y'all probably tired. Like, man, shut up. But thank you guys for listening. It means a lot to me. It empowers me. And I really appreciate it. And with that being said, my theory crafting is over. What did I? Oh, with that being said, yeah, it's coming back. My theory crafting is over. And I'm going to pass the mic to the mighty Lambonius.
We're going to have to talk about some
and
theories one of
these
days.
Yeah, for sure. But you guys take it away.
You can go, Lambonius.
Man, I'm just going to keep it short and sweet. I just want to remind y'all to hit that subscribe button, smash the like button, especially you, Jamal. I see you.
Name drop it.
He knows what he's done.
What'd you do, dude?
But yeah.
I don't know, dude.
Smash that like button, subscribe button, and thank you for playing.
Yeah.
What you got, B.L. Jonas?
Well, I just want to say, just be more willing to, try out games, be willing to play them for a little bit of time and actually learn games before you crap on games or just say they're not fun or they're imbalanced or they're broken or whatever, the inputs that you guys give, whoever gives out their inputs, does have a lasting effect on anybody who listens to you. So that could be a large following or a small following. But at the end of the day, it all affects the overall experience of games. You know what I mean? And I feel like depending on the type of energy you put out there can affect games positively or negatively. So I would hope that people choose to go the more positive route, instead of you're not getting your way within the first 5 minutes and you're like, this game's trash. Don't pick it up. This game's not fun. Worst thing I've ever played. Just so you can say the next day, you know what? It's actually not that bad. So just be more patient, man, and just be willing to learn what the game has to offer before you dump it, But
well said.
With that being said, BL Jonius says like and subscribe, and we'll catch you guys on the flip side, my dudes. My dudes.
All right, dudes, you heard it here first, dudes.
All right, dudes, let's go
tonight?
play some fighting games.
All right.
Jordan!
Later, guys. Catch y'all later. It's been an honor. I almost didn't say that. I almost broke the streak, but it's been an honor.
Always.
Talk to my...
Later, guys.